Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle, and this is a special segment. We just want to wish y'all a blessed 2025, but we pray that your 2024, even despite the triumphs, the trials, the ups and downs, that you made it through. You made it through, and we are here today, and we are stepping into the new year. And it just gives me joy to introduce my next guest. And I want to say my first guest of the year, and what an amazing way to start the year. But please welcome to the stream, Jameel McKanstry. Jameel, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate you.
Man, listen, um, for those who don't know, um, you're listening in the background some really amazing music, and we're gonna get to that a little later. Um, but Jamil, I just want to say, man, the day we met, I was at a brunch with some family and friends, and out of nowhere, some music comes on that just changes the energy and the atmosphere. Not that anyone wasn't having a good time, but I don't even remember what song it was. But this young man was at a table with some other amazing people because I didn't know that they were performers and songwriters and such. And they begin to break out in song and they're singing the harmony parts, and the restaurant starts to go crazy and we're embracing them. And I just had to go over and just say, hey, listen, that hit me right here. I appreciate it. And that
Yeah.
spawned what has become an amazing friendship to this point. And I know it's going to develop and grow into some more amazing things. But that day, man, how did it feel to be in an atmosphere where you just shifted the energy, and it was gospel music? I think it was like a hip hop R&B brunch, but somehow
Yeah.
the gospel came on and y'all took over the whole restaurant.
We the church choir, so FCBC. We was in that thing, having a great time, and I think it was Happy Birthday. That was for Happy Birthday to you.
That's how it started. Yes, and then the gospel. Yes, that was it.
Then it went
Oh
on from
man.
there, and we was in there like having a great time and just celebrating and enjoying each other. And little did we know, we shifted the atmosphere in the room. We just being ourselves, having a great time.
Now, when did you become a part of that ensemble?
So I joined FCBC, First Corinthian Baptist Church here in Harlem. I joined the music ministry in March of this year.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Now, you said Harlem. For those who are trying to figure out where they may want to find a church home in the new year, FCPC, right?
FCBC.
FCBC, Harlem, New
Yeah.
York. Um, for you, what what was the decision to join that particular church? Because I know people are thinking, man, I want to find a church home. What is the best way to go about finding a church home?
Yeah, sure. So for me, I had been to First Corinthian before many years ago, and one thing I remember is I enjoyed the word from Pastor Mike. So Pastor Mike always delivers a strong word. The music is always amazing, all that is great. But the thing that stuck with me the most about LCBC is when you walk in the door, you feel love. Like,
Mm.
and they do it for everybody. That you walk in the door, there are people like applauding. Woo! Welcome to church. You made it back. Welcome back. Welcome. Like they're applauding you. It's like what? Like what is this? So that was my first impression of the church. Um, I visited. So in between that time, I was a minister of music at another church here in Harlem, East Ward Baptist Church. So I was there for 7 years. And my time there had come to an end, and I dealt with grief, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point. But um, going into January, I was looking for a new church, and so I remember visiting FCBC, and that was what I was met with love, and that love permeated the whole service. Like you felt it through the music, you felt it through the word. It was an amazing experience. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I think that when you have that feeling, whether you go for the word, whether you go for the music, I love I love a dope choir. I love that's my ministry. Like I when I walk in and if the music hits me, then I feel like I'm prepared for the word. If the music doesn't hit me, the word just feels a little different. That's me. And sometimes you don't look for the man to give you the word. You look for the word being delivered by the man or woman, right? For me, that word is delivered through song for me. So I look at it from that perspective. And then, of course, you want to feel welcome. You want to feel like that's your community, that's your ecosystem, right? That's how you're
Yeah.
going to grow spiritually. And that's what we want for everyone. I'm going to pray for that for 2025, 2026. Just praying for a great spiritual experience for everyone moving forward. And I've been saying 2025, 2026, Jamil, because I truly believe that I want to prepare myself for the next 2 years, right?
Mhm.
I want to have this foresight. I want to be able to propel inspiration and motivation for the next 2 years. So I've been saying 2025, 2026. I'm getting ready for both.
Yeah.
I talk
Yeah.
about I want to talk about this year has been a tough one for me. 2024 was tough. I had a lot of had family and friends who passed away, lost their life. And when you go through that fire, people say you can't have a testimony if you haven't gone through any tests.
Mhm.
And if you haven't been tested, um, you very well can't inspire anybody with your testimony. I want to go back 2 years for you. When you find yourself in a happy place and had to deal with grief in a certain way, when I met you, I wanted to look into what is this that makes this man so amazing. And I'm looking at your social media, and I came across a post that you had lost your partner, and it touched me in a way, Jamil. I think I called you immediately, or it might have been the next day. I said, "Bro, I just wanted to just let you know I'm thinking about you." Explain to me. I don't remember the words, but I know that I wanted to reach out because when I met you, there was a spirit about you, and you have never. Some people say I don't look like what I've been through. You didn't look like what you had been through. And when I saw what you had, when I saw what happened, I wanted to know what you've been through because I wanted to pray for you. And if you don't mind sharing, I want to talk to people about grief, but I would love to hear your story in terms of being in a happy place. And then I don't know if you asked this question, but it's like, God, why? Why me? Why now? And how you chose to move forward.
Sure, sure, all of that. It's interesting. I just finished my therapy session, so it's been a good bit of time talking about this. So fine, right on. um, so my wife, Summer's her name. We were married for 11 years. We had two beautiful boys. They are 5 and 11 now. When the mother passed, they were 4 and 10. So Summer battled cancer, stage 4 cancer for 3 years. So when we found out it was stage 4, she went through, you know, a couple of different surgeries, many biopsies, and chemotherapy, all the things with that. Several rounds of chemotherapy, um, clinical trials, you name it. She had really been through it. She was a warrior. She was a warrior, and that whole time, this was her mantra. She had joy. She chose joy. Um, and going through what she was going through, I knew the dark side of it, but people in public, no one had any idea. Looking at her, you would know what she was going through. Um, so that she inspires me still to this day. And how I got to this artist status, if you will, is she asked me to sing at her service. We talked about that. It's just like whenever it happened, but we didn't know. it wasn't any kind of like, oh, you have this amount of time, or we had no idea. So she was like, whenever that happens, she's like, if you're strong enough, I want you to sing for my service. And I told her that I would, and so I did. And I just made a post about this not too long ago. Uh, the reaction from people feeling my pain, and feeling also the hope that I had, um, their reaction really pushed me to let me know like this is something that people need. Um, I I can sing, I've studied voice, like all those kinds of things, but I know I'm not like the greatest singer in the world. But that lets me know that my voice, there's somebody that needs my voice, somebody that needs my sound, that they're likely not going to get anywhere else. So that really pushed me to share my story, and my testimony through songs. And that's how I got um, to becoming an artist and creating music for release.
What what went through your mind after that day, after the outpouring of love, and then having to walk into your home that the both of you established with those two boys? What kind of weight did you feel on your shoulders at that time, if any?
Yeah, the 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 most, I'll say the most different thing. And really, I can't say that, because usually it's like, oh, you had this presence and now there's this absence. So I didn't feel it immediately, because I had friends, and I had family. So my mom, who she doesn't like New York. So I'm from Alabama originally. And I remember the day I told my mom I was moving to New York. She told me, she said, "Ain't nothing for New York in for you. What you going to New York for?" So that's how she feels about New York. She came once before my wife passed. Her second time visiting was after my wife passed. So when I saw my mom at the airport, I was like, wow, this is serious.
Mm.
Um, so she came and she stayed with me for a month. I had friends that were, kind of supporting me and just helping me, clean up, get things together, all that. So I really didn't feel that absence until probably like January of, of this year, 2024, or I should say of last year, 2024. Um, so at that point, when it started to feel a difference, when everyone had left, that's when I kind of felt it the most. And it is this, it's still, this weight of like, you know, these are my boys, and I have to, provide, and I have to care and nurture and all the things. Um, but all that being said, God is with me.
Mm.
That I know.
I love how you put that. I know that there are people who are watching and listening, and unfortunately, bad things happen to good people all the time. For those who are feeling like they can't make it out of the what they believe is darkness, or they can't find a way to be happy because they've lost something or lost someone, what did you lean on, Jameel, to I don't know if you come out of it. I don't think you ever fully come out of it, but what allows you to be the best version of yourself for you and your journey and for your boys?
Sure. Um, for me, it's being honest, and having people around you who you can really be honest with, who you can really lean on, if you need something, because there a lot of times people will just say, "Oh, call me if you need something, call me if you need something, and it's just like word service, lip service. Um, and so I had friends that I knew if I needed them, I could call them. I need them to watch the boys for me, because I mind you, I'm here in New York. I don't have family here, so my friends I've adopted them as family. So if you're close enough to me to watch my kids, you uncle, you auntie now for the boys. Because that means that I trust you.
Right.
you know. Um, so my friends are really, my close friends have become my family, and so I lean on them, and I'm honest with them. Um, and that's what it is. You have to be honest with yourself. If you're having a good day, you're having a good day, and that's great. If you're not having a good day, you're not having a good day. And doesn't serve anyone well to pretend like everything's okay when it's not, you know. And so if you meet people, don't be afraid to, because a lot of I really had to swallow my pride because I'm not used to, reaching out or like involving anybody else in what I have going on. Um, but I had to swallow my pride and accept the help from genuine people that did not want anything from me, that weren't trying to take advantage of me, but that just genuinely wanted to help me through this difficult time that, like you said, I'm still going through. But yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd say, um, you know, want to get in therapy if you're going through a tough time. Even if you're, I think that anybody should be in therapy, even if you're not going through a tough time, just so you can kind of have a self awareness. Because you keep living, tough times will come, right?
Mm.
So with that, you have tools needed to, because obviously we're Christian people. We have God, we have the Holy Spirit that's like, rocking with us and walking us through life. But at the same time, I think they sometimes we need therapy as well. So they work hand in hand, working together. Um, so yeah, I would say therapy. I'd say be honest with yourself and where you are, where you are as you go on your journey, and having that self awareness, um, and find a positive way to channel your grief. If you're going through grief, um, finding ways to reconnect with the person that you've lost, because grief is love that now doesn't have a place to go. So you have to find somewhere for that love to go. You got to pour it into something or someone. So that's what I say.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to ask you how important is it from a mental health perspective to one, either seek therapy, or two, especially for Black and brown men, to swallow your pride and and accept help when you need it. So I'm glad that you shared that. And as you talk about grief, I'm reading this book by Nicole Avant, Think
Yeah,
You'll Be Happy. And she
yeah,
says something that is so profound. You just mentioned about grief. Say grief, and I loosely quote this, but you should get this book. Shout out to Nicole Levant.
yes,
Think You'll Be Happy is the name of the book, and she says grief is the receipts that you have from the ones that you love, right? And it's kind of like, man, why? Like I had to think about that. Like grief is the receipts. That means you truly have to have loved someone to
yeah,
feel this way, right? You just have to figure out they're still present. And in her book, she doesn't talk about her mom or her dad in the past tense. She talks about them in the present tense, which I think is important because they weren't. You can't look at them and say, "Oh, they were good people." No, my parents, they're great people,
yes,
right? If you shared time and space with someone, and I battle with this, and I'm battling with this now. Like, man, the people that I've known that passed away, do you keep them in your phone book, in your phone? Do you keep them on Facebook? Do you continue to have their profile on your social media pages, or do you let those go and you keep them in your heart? Right? They're still here. They become our ancestors, right? They become they become our angels, and I want people to realize these people are gone in the physical. But I know when I pray at night, I pray for my grandmothers, my grandfathers, those who have passed away, aunts, uncles, and cousins. I still pray for them as if they are still present because I believe they walk with me. And because they walk with me, in my opinion, they're part of my brand. So I make sure I am the best version of myself at all times to everyone that I come across. And I think that's important. And I pray that I get the opportunity to maybe not, maybe I won't ever babysit the boys, but I would love to take them out to lunch because Uncle June wants to be part of that village that raises them. So I'm glad you said that because we do need to find our village, you
Yeah,
know. And you found it at first, at FCBC. You found it with the people that you walk with, creating music, and you have blessed us with a recording I think is amazing. I've shared it with a few folks. Um, you have a new song
yes,
called
sir.
Holy, Holy, Holy. What was the inspiration for this record?
Um, so I grew up in the church. You know, I've been playing in church since I was 11 years old. I was minister of music at 16, and so hymns, is something I grew up on. I love hymns, and so my first project is going to be it's all hymns. So the first one is Holy, Holy, Holy. Yeah. Um, so yeah, man, this one was inspired by Take Six, and so I had a couple of friends of mine who have that kind of brain, that jazz, jazz brain. Um, I had them lock in on the background vocals. Jared Johnson and Armand Hutton. Um, so Jared is one of my fraternity brothers. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And so Jared, like I said, we're fraternity brothers. So we've done a couple of projects in the past. So I got him to sign on. Armand, he's someone that is relatively new for me, but they knew each other. And
Okay.
so they've worked together in the past, and that was an easy sell. And they, they, they did a phenomenal job on those background vocals, and really set the stage for me to just kind of paint over um, this backdrop, if you will. It really gave me a canvas to kind of work.
What do you want people to after walk away with after listening to this song and preparing for a full length project?
Sure. So the one thing that I want people to get is just to embrace that beauty that's happening in the background, right?
Mm.
So
Say that again,
embrace.
Jamil. Say that again. I like that. I like that. Say that again for the people sitting all the way in the back.
Yeah, yeah, to embrace the beauty that's happening in the background. And I'm talking about background singers, but also in the background of our lives, like the things that we don't even pay attention to, and how God is moving in the background. Okay, that's it. Um, and then I kept the lyrics for each of them for a couple of the verses, and then toward the back end, I developed a vein where I kind of share a little bit of my testimony. And so the band starts with the text. We join with the angels crying holy, right? Because they're angels right now, even now, crying holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. So we join with the angels crying holy. And so when I think about my life and all the things that God has done for me, I have to cry holy. So I'm joining with those angels crying holy. And so, and in terms of grief, like, thinking about those that you've lost, they're now a part of that angelic choir, crying holy.
Man,
Yeah,
Jamil, I'm so glad that you chose joy.
yes, sir.
So glad that you chose joy. Matter of fact, I'll just say this: where can we get one of those T-shirts? And if you're not selling them, that's exactly what we're gonna do this year. So, how can we reach you? How can we follow you to get one of those Choose Joy shirts?
For sure, for sure. Jameel McKanstry on all platforms.
Listen,
Yes,
Jamil,
sir.
my brother, you know I'm praying for you. You know I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. We gonna make some magic happen in 2025, 2026. I
Yes, sir.
truly believe that. I truly believe that. You heard it here. Pay attention to what's going on in the background, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate those who you love. today because tomorrow's not promised. You know, and when you find a village, you do find a good thing. Just as when you find a spouse, you find a good thing. And in those times where you lose those that you love, find a village, find a church home that when you walk through those doors, they're telling you welcome or welcome back. That is the message that I got from my brother Jameel McKanstry today. And Jameel, what's the name of the album?
So the EP is called Echoes of My Tears.
Listen, pick it up. He just told you where to follow. Make sure you get one of those Choose Joy sweatshirts and t-shirts. We're gonna support this young man. Ladies and gentlemen, the new single is Holy, Holy, Holy. It is available on all platforms. Please like it, love it, share it, pick it up, purchase it, put it in your playlist, play it after you listen to this broadcast, and I hope it'll be a blessing to you. Mel, I always like to tell people at the end of each show, never leave the opportunity undone to tell somebody that you love them. It may be the last opportunity you have to do so. Jamil, I love you. I love y'all. Blessings for the new year, 2025, 2026. Let's go get it.
Yes, sir. Love you back, bro. Thank you, man.
It's your man, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like it, love it, share it. And please don't forget to tell somebody that you love them. If you really do. Happy New Year, y'all. Peace.
How you bless me, how you heal me, how you save me and delivered me, how you kept me and still keeping me.